So I was right. This is the one we're gonna go with, I think. A pumpkin chai. I am enjoying it so far. Awkward. So when you think fall reading, you think these books. I did not see that coming. I can't think. This isn't going well. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is another 24-hour readathon. It has been almost a year since I have done one of these, so I'm excited but also a little nervous because 24-hour readathons are a lot. Now, I thought to make this one a little bit more fun, we could do strictly fall vibe books. So that being cozy fantasy, fall rom-coms, thrillers, mysteries, like that kind of thing. The vibes, when you think fall reading, you think these books. I have a little stack off to the side here of some books that I think could be good contenders for this 24-hour readathon, but obviously we're not going to be getting to every single one of these because that would be crazy. But these are the books that I'm going to be pulling from when I go to pick a new book during this readathon. I also will have my Kindle that has some like fall reads on it as well. I'm gonna go through all of the books that are on my radar for this readathon. We'll see which ones I end up getting to, but first on my Kindle, I do have a couple different fall vibe romances. So I just found this one on Kindle Unlimited called Love and Lattes at Pumpkin Hollow. So that could be a good option. I do also have this one that looks really cute called The Baby Dragon Cafe. Seems really cute, cozy fantasy vibes. So that could also be an option. This is what that one looks like. I have one called Blue Arrow Island that I've heard is like a mystery thriller, so I feel like that could be a good option as well. I have one called Falling For You that looks like a cute little fall romance. I've got some options on here. As for my physical books, I've got a big stack here of a couple. So I'll just start from the top. These aren't in any particular order of how much I'm anticipating them or anything, but the first one is Masters of Death by Olivia Blake. I don't really know much about this one, but the vibes are giving fall for some reason. Viola Merrick is a struggling real estate agent and a vampire, but her biggest problem currently is that the house she needs to sell is haunted. So the ghost haunting the mansion has been murdered, and until he can solve the mystery of how he died, he refuses to move on. So definitely is giving those like spooky fall vibes. So who knows, maybe I'll read this one. I do have a couple that I'm like are higher up on my radar that I definitely want to get to, but I'm not going to tell you which ones those are so that you have to see if I get to them. Another one that I think would be really fun to read in this is Bookshops and Bone Dust. I actually read Legends and Lattes in my one and only other 24-hour readathon that I've done. I thought this one could be fun because I read the first one in a 24-hour readathon. This one could be fun to read in a 24-hour readathon and just like read the whole series, you know? Read both of them in a 24-hour readathon. It gives very cozy, it's like a very cozy fantasy vibe, so I feel like it's good for fall as well. Another one is The Dead Romantics. Really want to read this one this fall, so I feel like it could be a good contender. This is also on my monthly TBR, so that would be nice. Another one that's been on my TBR for a while is The Spell Shop. Again, this is giving very cozy fall vibes. It honestly actually gives more spring vibes just because of the cover, but it's a cozy fantasy, and I feel like cozy fantasy is good in fall. Another one that I would like to get to possibly is this Agatha Christie, and it's called The Body in the Library. So it's like a mystery thriller. I got this one at a library book sale that I went to, but I feel like this could be a really good contender because look how short it is. It is a short book, but not only that, it is also large print. So I feel like it would be a really fast read because not only is it under 300 pages, but it's under 300 pages, ginormous words. So I feel like it would be a really fast read. And I have heard good things about Agatha Christie books, but I've never read one. So I think it would be a good intro into her books, I guess. And then lastly, the last physical book that I have pulled aside that I think would be good. I obviously have more books on my physical TBR I can go pull from if none of these are calling to me, but the next one that I have is The Night and the Moth. I actually started this the other day, but I literally only got a couple pages in. Like, I'm literally on page 6 or 7. Definitely could be a contender as well. I know it's set in the same world as the Shepherd King duology, and that was giving like fall vibes to me, so maybe this one will be fall vibes too. I don't really know if it takes place during any specific time of year. I am excited to get to this one, and it's also on my monthly TBR, so that would be good as well. But that is all of the books on my radar for this. I am not actually starting this readathon today. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'll be setting a 24-hour timer and just seeing how much I can get read in 24 hours. I just wanted to intro and talk through some of the books so that way when I get home tomorrow I can just immediately start reading and getting the 24 hours started and seeing how much I can read in 24 hours. Okay, we are officially going to be starting the 24-hour readathon. I'm pulling up my iPad so that I can get the timer going, and I have to figure out which book I want to start with. I probably should start with this one because I technically already started it. I'm a couple pages in, but I think I want to start with an easier one. Do I save an easier one for later when I'm tired? Oof. I have been really wanting to read The Night and the Moth, so I might start, like, continue this one actually. Either this one or one of these two I think would be good contenders to start. This one, however, though, I'm thinking it might be better to save until I'm getting a little bit more tired because first off, it is large print, so it'll be not as straining on the eyes, but it's also really short, so I feel like it would be good at night when I'm getting a little bit tired. So I'm thinking one of these two, depending on if I want to be in a fantasy mood or a romance mood. We'll decide and you'll see which one, but I'm gonna start this timer. Where is my camera? Not my camera. Oh my god, I can't think. This isn't going well. Where is my timer? Found it. Okay. 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds because that's as far as you can go. We are going to start and let's see how many books I can read in 24 hours. I'm still trying to decide if I want to pause the timer when I am sleeping tonight because I cannot stay up for 24 hours straight. There's just no possible way that I can do that. Or if I want to just keep the timer going. We're going to start with The Night and the Moth because I feel like this is the right move to start with. I've only read like 3 pages because there's some other stuff at the beginning. We'll see if I remember what I was reading. I was reading while I was at a bookstore with my friend, and we didn't get much reading actually done. So I'm gonna have to go back to the first page to make sure that I know what's going on because I was a little confused. I also can't remember where I was at. I'm just starting over. We are a little over an hour in and I cannot stop yawning. So we're gonna make a drink to hopefully get a little boost. I'm either gonna make a chai or a matcha. Haven't decided, but I just need a little pick-me-up. Decided on a chai because I think it will have more caffeine than the matcha will. And of course it's gonna be pumpkin because I can't do a 24-hour fall readathon without a pumpkin chai. So that's what we're gonna make. Okay, my pumpkin chai is made. Let's give it a taste test. Oh yeah. That is hitting the spot. I did a dash of brown sugar cinnamon syrup, a little bit of pumpkin spice creamer, and then the pumpkin spice foam. Delish. Let's get back to reading. Okay. It has been about 3 hours now, and I definitely can tell that this is going to be a more laid back, chill version compared to the last 24-hour readathon that I've done, the only other one, because I'm definitely taking it a little slower, at least to the start. I started off really tired, but the last time that I did one of these readathons, I literally like took my book to the bathroom with me when I needed to go to the bathroom, or like when I made my chai earlier, I would have tried to read while I was making my chai, or I would have put on an audiobook or something to like try to strictly be reading nonstop for the 24 hours. But when I was like making my chai, I didn't bring a book with me. I did dishes and didn't bring a book with me. So it's definitely going to be a little bit more chill. So with that said, 3 hours in, I am now on page 61. So like I said, a little bit slower of a start given that I'm only 60 pages in and we've been going for 3 hours. But thought I could give you first thoughts of The Night and the Moth. Now that I'm 60 pages in, I can give you a little bit, I can tell a little bit more about what this book is about. I'm still definitely in the very beginnings, so I don't know fully what it's going to entail. But so far, it's following Sybil, who is what they call a diviner. And she works at a cathedral. Put my timer back here. You can't really see because it's blurred out, but a bunch of people from all over come to this cathedral to have one of the 6 diviners. They're almost like fortune tellers in a way. They go into this lake, kind of like the waters of the cathedral, and it's almost like holy water in a way. While she's in these waters, she kind of like goes into a trance. She can see vision from 6 unearthly figures known as the omens, is what the synopsis says. At the very beginning, a new king that is just being crowned king comes to the cathedral, to the diviners, to get his future read to see if the omens will favor him as a king or not. The diviners work at the cathedral for 10 years and their years are almost up. They have like a couple months left before their 10 years are up. Sybil realizes that she's not going to know anything about the world after the 10 years is up because you become a diviner when you're a child. And so she doesn't know anything of the world. She's not going to understand anything of it. They just now are having 6 knights escort them out of the cathedral land and into the like town, which they're not supposed to leave the cathedral or its grounds. That's where we're at right now. I'm not sure what else is going to happen. I'm assuming it's going to give like kind of mystery vibes, because it says when Sybil's fellow diviners begin to vanish one by one, she has no choice but to seek his help in finding them. His talking about one of the knights that is escorting them. So I'm assuming it's going to be some sort of mystery as she's trying to find the other diviners as they go missing. So we shall see. I'm going to keep reading. My husband is on his way home from work with some dinner for us, so that will be exciting. Again, since this is more of like a chill, laid back version, I'm not sure if I'm going to try to read while I'm eating or if I'm just going to take the like 20 minutes it will take me to eat to just have like a reading break. I am enjoying it so far. Let's keep reading. Okay, it is quite a bit later now. It is 11:33, but I'm officially halfway done with The Night and the Moth, so thought I would give you some more thoughts. It's definitely taking me, I would have thought I would have been further into it by now, but like I said earlier, I'm taking this 24-hour challenge a little bit more chill than the last one, so makes sense that I'm only halfway. But time check on how much longer we have. We've still got 14 hours and 11 minutes left. I will be pausing this to go to sleep at some point, and then we will pick back up tomorrow because I cannot stay awake for 24 hours straight. The AC just turned off, so my husband can definitely hear me talking now. Awkward. My thoughts on this book so far, it's definitely picking up the pace of everything. Other girls that she like works with, I guess, have now gone missing, and they went missing one by one. It wasn't like all 5 of them went missing at once. It was one a day basically. She has now left the cathedral and is working with one of the knights to try to find the 5 girls that went missing. Along the way, she is now learning new information and questioning everything that she was taught for the past 10 years while she was working at the cathedral. So very interesting. I am invested. Let's see what happens next. Good morning. It is the next day and I'm about to start the timer again. I am starting a little bit later than I wanted to today too, but that is mainly because my husband told me that BlackRock was doing extra 75 points if you order twice within a certain time frame, and I went to BlackRock yesterday, so I would have been ordering twice within that specific time frame, and I was like 50 points away from getting a free drink. So now I have a free drink that I can use next time I go. So I went and got some breakfast. I got some egg bites, and then this is a sugar-free fuel with guava and raspberry. Very good. Nice little pick-me-up for the start of today, because we have 13 hours and 34 minutes left on the timer. Pretty much 35 minutes because there's 57 seconds still also. So got 13:35 left on the timer, and we are going to resume. I did not get much more read last night after I talked to you last, so I'm on 210 right now. And I realized I thought this was taking place in the same world as One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns, but it's not. It's a completely new world. So there's that information for you. I thought it was taking place in the same world. I do want to try to really grind and get the rest of this read because I want to read at least 2 books in this video. Just want to know when she's going to tell them what her actual name is, because as of right now, everyone's still calling her Six because she was the sick diviner. But I want to know when she's going to tell them what her actual name is. I want them to know. I think I just figured out where the other 5 girls have gone, and if I'm correct, I'm going to be really sad. I guess we'll find out if I'm right. I'm hoping I'm not, because what I'm thinking is sad and I don't want it to be sad. So I was right. Cool. Yeah, cool. I just finished The Night and the Moth. Finally, the first book is done. I don't know if fantasy, this kind of fantasy, was the right choice to start with because it is a paper or hardback, and hardbacks are bigger than paperbacks, and it just took me a long time to read it. We now only have 7 hours and 14 minutes left on my timer. It definitely took a big chunk of time to read this book versus if I would have read like a romance, it probably would have been a lot faster. But with that said, I really enjoyed it. I don't even know what to say. The story was really enticing to me and I just didn't want to put it down. Obviously I'm doing a 24-hour readathon, so I didn't put it down, but I truly was just enthralled into the story and needed to know what was going to happen next. And I did figure some things out beforehand, but the ending, oh my gosh, I did not see that coming at all. I am shocked. And I need the next book to come out ASAP because what do you mean that's how it ends? What do you mean? What do you mean that is how it ends? Oh my gosh. Okay. I think I'm going to give it a 4.5. Wasn't quite a 5-star. I don't know. Something about it just like didn't quite give me the 5-star feelings. But I did really like it. So I think I'm going to give it 4.5 stars. So with that, it's time to pick the next book because I just finished this one. And I am going to read this Agatha Christie, The Body in the Library. I feel like this is going to be the best move because it is so short and large print. So hopefully it shouldn't take me too long to read this one. And that will, you know, get me going again. change of plans. I might not read this one. I'm just not vibing with it. I'm only 24 pages in, so you know, it could change, and it is giving like Nancy Drew vibes kind of, but I'm just, something about the way that it's written, I'm just like not vibing with it, and it is like kind of hard for me to follow. I don't have like, I only have 6 hours and 23 minutes left, and I know that I'm just not going to be enjoying that time as much if I read this one. So I think instead I'm just going to read The Dead Romantics, because I really do want to read this one, and I feel like I'm going to enjoy my time a lot more reading this. So this is the one we're going to go with, I think. Okay, so I am 75 pages into The Dead Romantics, and I thought I would give you my first impressions, first thoughts. I came into my bedroom to talk because my husband is out in the living room and I don't want to bother him, so you get bad lighting. Sorry. But so far I am liking this book. It follows our main character, her name is Florence, and she is a writer, but she's a ghost writer. So she writes under the name of someone else, and that someone else is like an actual person. It's like a 4-book contract, and she only has 1 more book to write. But this author that she's a ghostwriter for is a primarily, strictly romance author that specializes in happily ever afters, and she does not believe in love anymore because she went through a terrible breakup like a year ago, and ever since then she can't write about love anymore. So she's about to miss her deadline and could blow everything up, her whole career, the career of this other person. And there's a new editor at her office that's like not giving her any more extensions. So she has to hit this deadline or legal action will be enforced. But the night before her draft is due, she gets a call from her mom, and her dad has passed away. So she has to go back home to obviously be there for the funeral and all that stuff. Her parents own a funeral home, so she's dealt with funerals and funeral things her whole life, and actually her and her dad can see ghosts. That is the magical realism part of this book, because if you don't know, Ashley Poston does magical realism style books, and in this one she can see ghosts. And so she's at the funeral home. They're reading the will for her dad, and there's the doorbell rings of the funeral home, and she goes out, and there is a ghost out there, and that ghost just so happens to be her new editor for her publishing company. So somehow he is dead. Don't know how. I literally just got to the part where she sees him. So I don't know why he's dead or why he's there, all the things. I've got like a 3 hours 30 minutes ish left, a little bit over, maybe like 3 hours 40-ish minutes, but so I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it, which means I'm not even going to get 2 full books read probably, but that's okay. Sometimes it just goes a little slower. Timer just went off, which means 24 hours is up. I got 160 pages read of this book and I am enjoying it so far. I don't think it's my favorite by the author, at least from the first half, but we'll see when I finish it. The female main character and the male main character is a ghost, but they are kind of like helping each other. Hi, Luna. Someone wanted to come say hi. So, it's very interesting. I'm not sure how a romance can happen between a human and a ghost, so that will be interesting to see how it plays out. But that will be it for tonight, but I will probably finish this book before I do my full wrap up for the video so that I can fully talk about this book in this video, but I'm about halfway, so yeah. Alright. I just finished The Dead Romantics, so even though it's past the 24 hours, I thought I could give you my thoughts on it since I read half of it in this video. I enjoyed it. It's not my favorite book by her, but I did really enjoy it. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was good. It was cute. I liked the romance, and I was wondering how it was gonna work between a human and a ghost, but you understand how it works by the end of it. I did really enjoy both the character growth of them. I will say probably part of why it wasn't my favorite was it was just a little triggering for me. The father in this book, it's not giving anything away because it literally says in the back that she has to go home for his funeral, but he dies of a heart attack. And back in 2020, my dad had a really bad, massive heart attack. Luckily, he's still with us, but it could have been, you know? And so reading this where her dad passes away from a heart attack was just bringing back a lot of memories about my dad when he had his, and it just was hard to read some of those parts because it was reminding me of that. I think that's part of why it maybe wasn't as high as I was expecting it to be, because I've heard people love this one, but I still really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm giving it 4 stars, so I didn't dislike it by any means. There were just parts of it that were hard specifically for me to read about. But with that, officially we have come to the end of this video. It was a 24-hour readathon, and those 24 hours were up quite a while ago. But I finally finished, so I wanted to talk about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!